Hi everyone, Ms. Swenson here, and I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about PSEO. This is something I get a lot of questions about. It gets a lot of people really excited, but there are some super important things that you need to know before you decide whether or not PSEO is right for you. So first of all, PSEO stands for Post-Secondary Enrollment Opportunities. Basically, all it means is that you are taking classes at a college while you are still in high school. So you actually leave the school building when we return to being in person, of course, take a class, and then, maybe come back later, depending on how the schedule works out. And a lot of people get really excited about PSEO because it offers you the opportunity to earn college credit when you're still in high school, which is super cool. So let's talk a little bit first about who qualifies. First of all, rising juniors and seniors. That means if you are currently in either 10th or 11th grade, you might be eligible for PSEO. And then you either need to have a minimum of a 3.5 GPA or be in the top 20% of your class. I put a little star next to the GPA because there is some flexibility there. Some colleges will take students with GPAs that are lower than that, but the reality is that from what we've seen in the past, is that our students that are most successful doing PSEO have a 3.5 GPA or above. We don't want you to go to a college class and then maybe not get credit for it because you weren't academically ready. So we really want to make sure that the students who are going for PSEO opportunities are those who are the most prepared and who are going to be set up for the most success. And as with everything, especially in the college decision-making world, there are some pros and cons to PSEO that I really encourage every single one of you to think about. Of course, one of the pros is that you're earning college credit at no cost. This is the biggest thing that people hear about PSEO and get really excited for. You're able to take a couple of college classes and then hopefully that saves you some money in the long run, right? You also, I think a big pro of doing PSEO is that you get a true college experience before you leave high school. Obviously, we take you all on lots of campus visits. You're able to take AP classes so you can get the academic rigor of a college classroom, but none of that is quite the same as actually being in a college class with college students and a college professor. And that kind of experience can give you a leg up as you enter college. And of course, PSEO gives you the opportunity to build skills that you need to succeed in college, not just academic skills, but also soft skills like communicating with professors, attending their office hours, just like you attend office hours in high school, and working with college students and figuring out what it's like to work with college level peers. However, some cons. PSEO credits are not as flexible as AP credits. Let me give you an example. We've had some students in the past who have done PSEO at MCTC, and then they decide to attend a college other than MCTC after they graduate. And that college has said, great, you took a PSEO class. We are so glad you did that. However, we're going to have you take the English class that was basically the same as what you did at MCTC here because it's required. Colleges, it's up to colleges whether or not to actually honor the PSEO credit. So even though you have taken these college classes, whatever college you go to after you graduate, it's up to them whether or not they want to actually count that as a credit you need for graduation versus just like a random elective credit. And that can be kind of tricky. If you are, however, taking AP classes at Hiawatha, AP classes are much more universal. So pretty much any college you go to in the country, they're going to accept that AP credit for the class it actually represents. So if you take AP language and composition, that will always be counted as and pass the test. You will always have that be counted as an English class. Something to keep in mind. The other thing is that your PSEO GPA follows you to college. This is another really tricky situation that some students have in the past have gotten into. Because if you don't do so well in your PSEO class, instead of starting college with a fresh, shiny, 4.0 GPA, you're starting with a C or a D GPA. And so that can be kind of a hard hole to dig yourself out of your freshman year. So again, this goes back to the piece of why we have GPA requirements around people who are doing PSEO. It's because we want to make sure that like you're going to do well in that college class so you don't start off college in like a GPA hole. Another big con, and this is specific to the class of 2022 and 2023 and where we're at in the world right now, but there is a possibility of starting online. Even though at this point, I'm recording this on March 5th, 2021, even though it seems fairly likely that we at HCHS will have pretty much an in-person learning situation next fall, that colleges are still really making up their minds about whether they're going to be in person or not. I will tell you that most PSEO classes tend to be some larger classes available for like typical college freshmen. And those classes, because they are so large, are the first to get moved online. So PSEO classes, more than your like average college class, are more likely to be online in the fall of 2021. And I think that takes away a big piece of what we talked about in the pros column. You know, taking an online college class is not going to give you that kind of true college experience. That's one of the big benefits of PSEO. So specifically for this year, really think about if you want to take that college class just to sit in another online class. And then, of course, doing PSEO limits your ability to be involved at HCHS. This is a situation I've seen with kind of like an unintended consequence that's happened to a lot of our students who have previously done PSEO. We try to arrange your schedule as best we can so that you're not like leaving in the middle of the day and then coming back. But obviously, if your PSEO classes are in the afternoon, that means that you're like pretty much unable to participate in clubs and sports at Hiawatha. If they're in the morning or like midday, you might miss out on class time or lunchtime and just time with your friends. And especially for those of you going into your senior year, that's kind of tough. So really think about all of the aspects of being a high school student. And if you want to give, you're willing to give any of those up. I think for the vast majority of students, the best way to go is to take AP classes, as many as you can handle, and just to be like a full high school student and enjoy your high school experience. There are a few people that PSEO is the right decision for, and I will always have those conversations with you to help you figure out what's best with you. So speaking of which, if at the end of the video, you are like excited about PSEO and you're interested in learning more, please email me or set up a meeting, like Zoom meeting with me, and we can talk some more about whether or not it's the right decision for you. And I'm looking forward to talking more to each and every one of you. Have a great day, everybody.